Hello all, welcome back to the next one. So we have been talking about writing one test class and writing before methods, before class and everything. So right now it's time to understand how usually test cases and test classes are created. We usually have a lot of test cases. So for now we are considering one test case as one test method, but we have a lot of test cases and it's not possible to put every single test case into one test class. So usually, if whether we are doing Selenium WebDriver or any other kind of automation, even REST APIs or any backend automation, we have lot of test classes, and test classes are usually created based on the functionality. Imagine, for an example of web automation, which is Selenium WebDriver, you have 10 pages on your web application. You would want to create 10 different test classes for testing those 10 pages. So that's why you would create a lot of test classes. And the test cases related to that functionality would go in a particular test class. Because of this, all those test classes in combination are known as test suite. And not just those physical test classes are known as test suite. Basically, a test suite can be referred to as a virtual or logical assignment also. We may want to pick 3 test classes and call it one test suite, and it depends on what is our intention of testing. There could be a smoke test suite which kind of tests some basic particular things and does some quick checks, that is usually known as smoke test. There's a regression test suite, and that is kind of full-fledged verification of all the features of the application. So regression test suite is one thing and smoke test suite is one thing. Likewise, you can have different kind of test suites, like some for build, validation test suite, and some other. It depends on your application and your organization. Leaving that thing aside, what we want to understand is, now let's assume we have more than one test class and we want to run multiple test classes in a single shot. How do we achieve that? Till now we have been running one test class, but now we want to run more than one test class, and we want to understand how we can do that. So there's a concept of test suites in TestNG, which is really very handy, and we can use that. So I have created one test class here, TestNG test class 1. There is a usual setup, the before class, and this is after class, before method, and then after method, and then couple of test methods, test method 1 and test method 2. And I should actually say the name of the test class here, so it will be more specific. So when we see the output, we will understand from which test class things are coming. Now I created this class ahead of time, but I wanted to create one in front of you. This was just to save a little bit of time. So what I'm gonna do here is right click on the package, go to new and go to other. As usual, type TestNG, create a TestNG class, and I'm gonna select before method, after method, before class and after class for now, and click finish. So I forgot to change the name, but that's okay. We can always refactor the name. So let's refactor it so we have some meaningful name. So refactor, rename, and TestNG test class 2. This is the name we gave. So it creates a test method by default. It creates a before method, after method, before class, and after class method. I can do select all and Command Shift F or Control Shift F to format it a little bit. Now I actually want to copy all these methods from here so we can just save a little bit of time in typing these things. It's basically doing nothing. We are just printing out statements which shows that this test method is getting run. And inside the test method, there would be obviously functionality to test a particular feature that pertains to your application. So this method is up there, And now we will just change the name of the class. So let's just do this, and maybe we can add this name of the class to other methods also, so that we can just easily identify that this statement is getting printed from this particular class. And I can do the same thing to this class as well, and obviously we can do to every method. Let's do for before class and after class also, because everything is going to get printed, and since this is almost a similar print statement, we may get just confused a little bit. So it's good to always have clear and organized stuff, so we don't get confused by these things. Alright, so since now we have typed in everything, we have two test classes, and the usual way is obviously we just go ahead and right click one of the file and click run as TestNG, and it runs the TestNG class. But do I want to do this separately for every class? No, right? I want a mechanism which I can use to run both the classes together. So for that, we need to create a TestNG XML file, and TestNG has capabilities to read that file, and it will run both the test classes for us. How we do that? In our project, we'll go to the project. I'm not going to source, I'm not going to package, I'm going to project. I'm going to right click here, new, and then I'm going to add a file. Let's name it as TestNG and .xml. So basically we are creating an XML file here, and the file is created down here. You can actually name it anything, but it has to be an XML file. In that we will create a format. So we want to create a test suite, so I'm just gonna say suite name, and let's name it as maybe regression test suite. So this is a regression test suite for us, and inside suite we want to name test and name the test also something. So maybe I can say it here as application test, and this guy is the test. This is the format of this file, so please make sure that you type correctly. Everything should be proper, there should be no typos, and it should follow the format. Inside this we will tell TestNG which classes we want to include in this suite and in this test group. Here I'm gonna add classes, and this is gonna be again one more block. Inside classes we will add individual class. So class, and I'm gonna name it. So the name will be actually the full name of your class. So it should include package. So the package we have is test classes. No typos, please make sure that you include it correctly. Dot the name of the class. So the name of the class is TestNG underscore test class 1, and we don't need to include .java. So this is the name of the class. Now this is our class 1, and we can actually copy this statement, and we can include one more class here and change the name to testclasses.testng underscore test class 2. So what we did here is we created a test suite. This name can be anything, you can name it whatever you like. This name can be anything, you can name it whatever you like, but this name has to be the proper name of the class, including the package name. So our package name is test classes, and then dot, because it is needed, the name of the class, exact name of the class. So this is our first test suite. I can save this file. Now since we have TestNG plugin installed, I can just right click on this and go to run, and this will show me this option, TestNG suite. And if I click this guy, it ran both the classes. Did you guys just notice that? How cool that is? It picked up. Now it's not the default suite. Did you notice when we were running individual classes, it was saying default suite? Because there was nothing that we provided. Now we provided the name of the suite, the name of the test, so it will pick everything from here. So it picks regression test suite, whatever we named. The test is application test. This is class 1, method 1 from class 1, method 2 from class 2, and this is again both the methods from class 2. Sorry, class 1 and class 2, all the methods are run. If we go to console, we can see both the classes running. So from TestNG class 1, this is before class, this is before method, then it's the test method 1, then it's again after method, and again before method. So basically it's doing everything. It's all the print statements, it's printing every single thing. So all the print statements are here and everything is executed successfully. So this is really the way. This is how we actually execute all the classes. We never go ahead and run individual classes. Usually we'll have different test suites in which there would be numerous classes. So usually we'll have this kind of format. We can create these kind of test suites. We can create any number of test suites like that. There is no limit, and every test suite can include different classes, and we can actually put methods also here under a class. So what that helps is, if let's assume that you don't want to run particular method from the class, you just don't include it here, and it will only run the methods that are included here. That we can cover later, but for now please understand that this is how we create a test suite. We can create an XML file and run it. It will run all the included test classes for us, whatever we included in the XML file. So that's about it. Please go ahead, practice this, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks a lot for running this one. I'll see you in the next lectures.